Hey everyone, it's Tommy from the Goalie Crease Network, and today I am extremely excited to show you guys the new CCM Premier Pro composite goalie stick. So, let's get started. Now, if you happen to watch my unboxing video when I got my CCM Premier Pro pads, you will also see that I got this brand new stick. And I was extremely excited to use this because I'm not really used to a composite goalie stick. I remember back probably 10 or so years ago when they were really first starting to come out, I wasn't really a huge believer in composite goalie sticks, and I wasn't sure about their durability or how they would perform on the ice. However, this is really the first time when I've used one full time for a little while, and you guys have seen it in a couple of videos, and I've been extremely excited to show you guys more about it. Now, the CCM Premier Composite Goalie Stick is very interesting in that it's not like your traditional composite goalie stick that a lot of people are probably used to, and I'm not going to name any other brands, but they tend to take a little more of an innovative approach, whereas the CCM goalie stick uses a more traditional approach. So if you like a composite feel, but for example, you don't want the top of the paddle here to be sort of rolled over a little bit, which supposedly, basically what it's supposed to do is give you a little more ability to have those pucks deflect back out as opposed to up. I'm not really sure if that happens or not, but I prefer the more traditional feel. And so using this stick, it was really nice because I could still get that composite feel and all of the benefits of being extremely light and very well balanced, but at the same time it was a very traditional feel in terms of the grip and in terms of the paddle. Now, going over to the grip for a second, this does have a sticky material. So if you are one of those goalies who you might use some tape, or if you do use some sticky tack that you put on there after the manufacturer, after you get it, or if you rough it up, there's some people who like to rough up that area, this is probably a really good goalie stick for you. Now, you guys have seen my taping video where I tape a goalie stick. I don't put any tape in through here, and so it was very different for me to get used to that sticky material. And that is despite using the sticky grip material on all of my player sticks. So I had to get used to that, and especially because the blocker for the CCM Premier Pro has a sure grip material in it. At least that's one of the options, and that's what I always get. And that way I do get some sort of a grip, but now I have sure grip on the palm and also the sticky grip on the stick. So that was very different for me. I think a lot of goalies are really going to like that because you do have increased control. It was just something that I had to get used to. Now, if you're looking at online descriptions of this stick, you'll notice that CCM touts a couple new technologies that they introduced to the shaft of the stick. One of them is the exofiber weave, and the other one is the zero flux technology. Both of them are meant to reduce vibration in the shaft. Now, a long time ago, 10 years ago when these first came out, there was a lot of vibration in composite goalie sticks. So if you took a shot to the paddle or to the shaft, you'd probably feel quite a bit of vibration that might hurt your hand. In later years, I don't think I've noticed that as much, but granted, I'm also not typically using a composite stick. Now, when I was using this stick, I didn't notice any vibration at all in terms of the shaft or even the paddle. So really, I didn't have any problems with that at all. Now, as far as the function of the goalie stick and the performance of it in game, one thing that you may have noticed in a couple of my games is that it is an extremely reactive paddle. So you might not feel the vibration in your hand, but certainly when those pucks come in and they hit the paddle, they rebound out very quick. So that was something I had to get used to. In fact, if you go back on one of my game videos, you'll actually see the puck kind of comes in. It comes in relatively slowly, hits the paddle. I go to cover the puck, and it actually rebounded out so quickly I didn't have a chance to cover the puck, and the other team ended up getting a pretty good chance, really. But I still made the save. So it's something that you really have to be mindful of when you're switching to a composite stick or when you're trying out this stick, that it is an extremely reactive paddle. So just make sure you know that going in. Now, another thing when talking about the performance of the stick is really just how light and how well balanced it is. So one of the tests you guys always see me do is the balance test. So I want to see exactly where this stick is. And I will preface this by saying I did cut down this stick to be the approximate same size of my other one. So I'm going to try to bounce it here, and it looks like the bounce point is pretty low on this stick. So maybe even a little bit more. Maybe right about there, somewhere pretty close to that. So it's extremely low. I would say most of the time when I'm doing this test, you'll probably see it closer to the grip. So this one is very low. So just know that going in. What that allows it to do though is it is extremely well balanced in that you don't really feel like the shaft is extremely heavy. Despite those new technologies, it feels a little thicker just when you're feeling it, whereas the blade and the paddle actually feel a little bit thinner, but it is extremely light. Now, at the same time, you want to make sure that you're going to like the blade. So this blade has a new construction. This has approximately the same construction as the Tacx player sticks. So what that means is it's extremely stiff. Now, I also use CCM player sticks, and I really like them. I get a great whip on them, on the shaft, and at the same time, their blades, because they're so stiff, they're able to transfer that power really well. So I really like that. So I do want to show you guys the blade, the pattern really quick. Now, this stick only comes in two different patterns, at least right now, the Price and the Crawford. This, you can tell, you know, it's like a mid pattern, something like that, so it's not really one that I'm used to. I was still able to shoot the puck very well and pass the puck. In fact, now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think I really even practiced with it before I went out and I played with it. I think I had a couple pretty good passes in my first game, if I remember correctly from that video, and then thereafter, you know, just typical shooting and passing. So I didn't have any concerns about the blade itself. You know, nice transfer of power, but really probably nothing that outstanding. I think most of all, if you're going to look at a composite goalie stick, you're looking at the durability, which so far, you know, just kind of looking over the stick, I've used this quite a bit, as you can see in the blade, and I've taped this blade a couple times, but you can see there's zero wear right there on the heel, none whatsoever. There's also no chips or dents in the paddle. And looking at the shaft here, absolutely no nicks, divots, anything like that. You can see I hit the post a bunch of times right there, but again, absolutely no divots or dents whatsoever. So I would say that this is an extremely durable stick, especially for a composite stick. But I think probably your main benefit here is going to be just how light it is, because it's certainly lighter than my pro sticks, my usual pro foam cores, and it's certainly going to be lighter than your typical wood stick. So one other thing I do want to mention is the fact that I'm pretty sure at this point you can't customize this goalie stick. So I have seen a couple different retailers out there with different colorways. I've seen one with 6 colorways, mostly with white backgrounds. I have also seen this black background with the blue on the front, just like this one. And then I have seen black with white lettering as well. So there are a few different colorway options out there, but as far as I'm aware, you can't get this custom. And I think probably the biggest reason for that is because it is composite, and that does take a different mold and a different process to make these sticks. So, and it would probably be pretty expensive because you're typically buying, you know, 6 or 12 packs, and at approximately $200 a piece, it's going to be pretty expensive. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any comments whatsoever, please put them below, or any questions, and I'll certainly respond to those. So, definitely like, comment, and subscribe, and good luck. I'll see you out on the ice.